Oh, look at that. That is a proper pie. Enjoy. Welcome back to Strictly Gluten Free. Today I'm going to show you how I make a chicken and mushroom pie. 18 months into a celiac diagnosis, I still very much know what a pie should taste like. The pastry should be buttery and flaky, not hard and crumbly, and the filling should be decadent and rich, and definitely not have a weird aftertaste. So the recipe I'm going to show you today makes no compromise just because it's gluten-free. It's just good pie. And honestly, if you don't tell anybody, no one would know the difference. It's that good. So should we make some pie? Okay, chicken and mushroom pie. First thing, you're going to need some pastry. So if you haven't yet made the pastry, then I'll leave a link to where you can go and do that. Next, chicken and mushrooms. So I've gone for 3 large chicken breasts and around 200 grams of mushrooms. Think about the size of the tin you're going to be using and how much filling you think you're going to get into that tin, and that will determine how much filling you're going to use for this recipe. Next, we go with the butter. So I've got around 30 grams of butter. That's just going to be placed in or in and around the mushrooms just to add and elevate that flavour of those mushrooms. 2 teaspoons of mixed herbs, always good addition to have in any recipe. Dijon mustard. Mustard is a really great addition. You don't need much, just a teaspoon of this. Don't overdo it. But what it'll do is it'll give a nice flavour to the sauce. It will give a nice colour and texture to the sauce, and it will also help prevent any sauces splitting. So it really works well, but you can't overdo it because you'll just overpower the taste. And then okay, now the filling is cooling, so we're going to leave that to just sit and do its thing. And in the meantime, we're going to make sure that our oven is preheated to 200 degrees C, that's 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to roll out our pastry. So as I said before, I have a link to this, so please go and give it a go. It's great pastry. It's an all butter short crust pastry. It's it's really good. So we're going to dust the workbench with a little bit of gluten-free plain flour, and then again on the top of the pastry. And then I also like to put a little bit on the rolling pin as well, just helps. And then we're going to just gently work the pastry. what I'm going to do at this stage is just possibly cut around a third of the pastry and pop it to one side, and that will be the pastry for our lid. And then I'll carry on rolling out the 2/3 until we get to the thickness we want. Remember, this is gluten-free pastry, so be reasonably gentle with it as you're rolling it out. I mean, it will crack, but then a normal pastry, short crust pastry, will also do that. So don't worry too much about that. The thing with working with pastry is it's quite forgiving. If you get a tear or a hole, you can just patch it with another bit of pastry, which is a really good thing to be able to do. Okay, put that over. You can see slightly odd shape, but again, that won't matter. So just place your tin in the middle, give yourself an idea of whether or not you've got enough to all the way around. A little bit more, not too much. That, I think, should do it for the pie dish. Okay. Yeah, happy with that. So then, to get this pastry off the board and in a pretty gentle way, what you're going to do is just lift up the edge and just roll it onto your rolling pin, making sure you tuck it under as it comes up. And then place your dish in the middle. Worth noting, I have gone for a dish where the base will come out, so that helps when you're looking to release the pie afterwards. Entirely up to you whether you want to grease the tin. I'm not going to do that today. I've got a non-stick tin, so that should be fine. Famous last words. And then just gently roll your pastry over the dish. And then what you're going to look to do is just very, very gently let gravity do its thing and pop it into the dish. You might get some creases. Again, absolutely fine. What you do want to make sure you do is have a bit of a lip all the way around the edge of this pie, because that will be what the top sticks do. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I do have a slight tear, and as I said, that's easily even repaired. What I'm going to do is take another piece of the pastry and just pop it over and finally press it in, and that will act as a repair. Easy as that. So, and I've also got not quite enough a lip around that side, so again, I'm just going to take another piece on this side and put it over as a lip. You can use a bit of your egg wash if you want to make sure that that's definitely stuck. So there you go. That's ready for our filling. Okay, so now we're going to fill this pie with the chicken and mushroom filling. Made a few more repairs off camera, but trust me, it's really easy to work with and really quite forgiving if you do get a small hole. Just keep working with it. You can glue things in with a little bit of egg wash, but it's quite forgiving. So turning our attention to the filling, the chicken and mushroom filling. Something I saw recently, which I thought was absolutely genius, is to use a slotted spoon and separate the meat and the vegetables from the sauce. That allows you to control how much goes into your pie mix, and then you can just put the sauce on over the top. So that's what I'm gonna try and do now. Just add in the filling, making sure that we fill up all the spaces, and then you can just pour the sauce in over the top. As you can see, I've gone for really nice big hearty chunks of chicken and mushroom. Just keep working until you've filled your dish. I mean, if you really do fill it too much, or you've made too much, then, which is entirely possible that I have, and looks quite full, I reckon I can get another couple of bits in there. In the middle maybe. Then this will freeze really well, or make another pie. Okay. And get another couple of bits in, come on. There. I think that might be as much as I'm going to get into this pie. Be brave, one more. There we go. There we go. So there is chicken and mushroom pie as it's going to be. I'm just going to drizzle some of this juice over the top, this gravy juice. Let that find its way. Do have a few little bits of chicken left, that won't go to waste. But there we go. And that is what we're looking like. I'm just going to set that to one side while I make the lid pastry. So once again, let's just have a little bit of cornflour. Let's just have a little bit of plain flour and just roll out this pastry. Again, just remember to be reasonably gentle with this. Given that it is gluten-free, it does need you to be a bit more gentle than if you're making a pie with the gluten equivalent. So before we put this pastry, the lid, onto the pie, what I'm going to do is just quickly egg wash. Now what I've used here is just the egg yolk because it gives a really, really good glaze. But you're going to want to just go around the edge of the pie, and that is going to give you the glue for the lid to sit on. Okay, so just all the way around. Give you your glue. Okay, and then very gently you're going to roll this pastry over the top. And then you're going to use a fork and just go round, just securing the lid to the side. And then you can go round and just take off the excess. There we go. And there is your pie. So now you're going to want to make sure that you've got a hole in the middle of this pie to let the steam escape. And then you can kind of decorate this however you see fit. So I'm going to put some leaves on it because that's quite a traditional thing to do. Okay, then that's what the pie's looking like. Then let's just add a bit of glaze across the top. So, pro tip, I'm actually going to stick this back in the fridge and let that egg wash set. Then we're going to glaze it for a second time, and that will just give it an extra bit of shine when it's baked. So let's stick this in the fridge. Okay, you can see that that glaze is set. It's giving you a nice shiny finish to the pie. So we're going to glaze it once more. That will just make it even look, that's good English. That will make it look even more decadent and give a really nice glossy finish to this pie. There we go. Chicken and mushroom gluten-free pie. Let's pop this in the oven for around 40-45 minutes. I'd say keep an eye on it at that 35 to 40 minute, just to make sure that it's not burning on the top. If obviously the filling's cooked, so if once the top is cooked, then it's good to go. If for any reason you want to leave it in a bit longer, then you can always put a bit of tin foil over the top to stop it cooking anymore. But let's put this in the oven. Okay, so the timer's just gone off. Should we see how the pie got on? Look at that! A chicken and mushroom gluten-free pie. Decadent buttery pastry. A glorious filling. Look at that. That is gonna be tremendous. And there we are. Chicken and mushroom pie. We will need to let that rest for a bit. That will be really hot. Leave it in the tin for a few minutes and then we'll remove from the tin and see how we did. Okay, so the pie is just about cool enough to touch. So let's see how we got on. Big reveal. Oh. Proper pie. Gluten-free. Enjoy. So that's it. Chicken and mushroom pie. Easy, right? If you like the recipe today, then maybe consider giving me a thumbs up. And even better, if you're going to make it, let me know how it goes in the comments. Or is there another pie that you're going to make? I'm certainly going to make a few on this channel. So if that's something that you would be interested in, then maybe consider subscribing. But for now, thanks for watching. And remember, keep it strictly gluten-free.